That's what we have. We have a Bible education. Theodore Roosevelt said that.
Yeah, I sure didn't go to school for it. The Holy Spirit just, he fed me.
Shalom, shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Rachak, Badash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, pushing his 100% truth of the gospel, waking up and sealing the elect of the nation of Israel through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai. And salutations to your sincere Archimedes that are pushing this gospel in all righteousness and in all sincerity, risking your lives and your freedom to do so. Alright, and starting January, the title of this lesson, you already know where I got this from, okay? You heard what the brother said, and I don't really know who that was, so slack out to that brother. But anyway, you heard him, he said that he sure didn't have to go to school. You have to get the knowledge of this truth, man. Because what the elders, the apostles, the apostles were going into was, how you don't need a college education, you don't need a degree, or you don't need any form of qualification in order to get this word, okay? Because the most time, as the scripture said that word, he did not reveal it. Let me get that precept real quick. Because the scripture said he did not reveal it to the learned or to the scholars, but unto babes, okay? And I think there's one in the New Testament. Yeah, it is. That's probably it. Oh, and there's a lot of them, man. Yeah, there are a lot of them. So let me start from here. Look at Psalms chapter 8, and I'll start from verse 1. Psalms 8 verse 1, and it reads, to the chief musician upon Gittith, a psalm of David. O Yahweh our power, how excellent is thy name in all the earth, who has set thy glory above the heavens. Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hast thou ordained strength, because of thine enemies, that thou mightest still the enemy and the avenger, okay? So when you're talking about babes and sucklings, when you're talking about us, okay, because you don't have these qualifications that would make us esteemed in this kingdom. We're not professors, or we're not men of, we are not considered men of high caliber knowledge or understanding, okay? But yet we still have knowledge of the scriptures, still have the Spirit working through us in order to give us an understanding of this gospel, okay? And going into the other one. Alright, the book of Matthew chapter 11 verse 25, and it reads, At that time Yahushua answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes, okay? And we are those babes, because you have men that are considered wise on this side. You have men that are considered, men of wisdom, men of knowledge, men of understanding on this side, okay? Geniuses, your quote unquote high IQ types. Alright, but what the most High do, you give it to just a random, seemingly random men of our people, okay? Men that aren't put in, set up in this on these high, the men that aren't giving these high standards, okay? Giving these high awards of learning, high degrees of learning, your masters, your PhDs, your doctorates, okay? Because what the scriptures say. And the Most High does not look at men, the Most High does not see as men seeth. And let me get that precept as well. So I try to remember how it goes. Let me just type this instead. Here it is. 1 Samuel 16 verse 7. But Yahweh said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For Yahweh seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but Yahweh looketh on the heart, okay? And that heart being what? Your mind, which is that love, your spirits, okay? So the Most High is measures the spirits, and he looks upon the spirits, as after all, he is the Father of spirits. So that is exactly how the Most High gauges who he gives this truth to, by looking upon the spirit and not upon the physical appearance. Okay, because you have men that are in this thing that aren't the brightest, okay, or aren't the most intelligent, according to Esau's system. But at the end of the day, they have this truth, which of course will be more valuable than any form of education that Esau can give you, okay? So now I want to get another precept in the book of Revelation 3, the Revelation 3 verse 20, because what the scripture say that let me go to that. Revelation 3 verse 20, and it reads, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me." And while I was watching that video, the apostles camp, which I try to watch, of course, every week, because it's going to be fire. Alright, but anyway, while I was watching it, that was the first picture that came to my mind when I heard him say that he didn't need to go to any school for it. And that's true, okay, because the Most High gives this Spirit to whomever He will, and it's not a school. There's no school on the whole earth, okay, that can teach you about this word. There's no school on the whole earth that can teach you about this word. And let me just quickly get the definition of the word sup, okay. And that word sup actually means, like for example, supper. It means to dine, to feast. All right. So let me get that word sup. And the word is deipneo.
Strong's G 1172. Deipneo.
You heard it, deipneo, and it means to sup. In other words, to sup means to eat. All right. To eat. That's basically what the Most High had done. He has fed you, or rather, I should say, Yahweh had done. He has fed you with this knowledge. Okay, it means to dine. In other words, Yahweh comes and feeds you with this knowledge. Okay, and you didn't need to spend years in a seminary school or study until all your hair fell off in order to get this. Okay, it just came up to you in the spirit, man. And depending on the measure of your spirit, you can get this in a few months. Right, you can get the truth in a few months, and when you're coming to this thing, you continue growing and growing, of course, in your understanding. Right, without the need for a degree or some small form of recognition from these, from the world that you have this knowledge. Okay, because the only recognition that you need is the Spirit working with you. Okay, now don't get me wrong, you still need teachers. Okay, you still need to study and the like. Okay, but the most important aspect of this thing is the Spirit. Okay, because you have men that will talk about, I'm dealing directly, or the Most High is dealing with me directly. I have men that will come out here talking about, I learned this trick for myself, that they do not need any teachers to learn this word. But that's not how it works, okay? Because you cannot understand the whole, you cannot eat the whole world or understand the whole world without having men to teach you, okay? That's why, brothers are in this thing, we always have men that are above us that we learned under, okay? That give us, the understanding, that give us understanding, starting from the apostles and the elders on down. We build up, basically we are just building off each other, okay, learning from each other, because it is a whole body that we are, because it is a body that we are in right now, okay. So we are collecting information from each other, because even the Apostle Paul gave that analogy, okay, that if the body was just full of eyes, wherein is the hearing, okay, wherein is the smelling? But since the body has different parts that have different functions, and these different functions relay different types of information to each other, okay, so that's why you have. That's why I said that we are learning from each other, we are building up each other, okay, because we are gaining different information, we are learning different bits of information from each other. Brothers find a bit of some knowledge, and then they do a video about it, and other brothers see that video and they can build off that as well, or they can learn from it. That's why this thing is a body. It's a body, and as the scripture says, iron sharpeneth iron. It's a body. It's a system. Okay, that's what I was looking for. It's a system, and we're all just cogs in this machine. Functioning through each other. Okay, and that's basically what this brotherhood is. And once you've got the Spirit working with you, man, this truth comes easy, because everything that we have was provided to us by the Holy Spirit, okay, the Comforter. Because Yahweh says that He would leave us a Comforter, and that would feed us with this knowledge and grant us this truth. And that is exactly what this Comforter is. And the Comforter is what? The Word, man, the Scriptures, the prophecies, okay. The Spirit not just learn, but to endure the hardships that come with being in this truth. The Spirit to guide you, to guide us, and to feed us with knowledge and wisdom in our work, okay? Because as we keep on working, we're working forward towards a direction, and as we walk, closer and closer to our goal, we keep on progressing and increasing in knowledge and wisdom and in understanding, okay? The same Spirit also gives us faith, so we may believe in this truth, okay? And we keep on getting a steady increase in our faith, so that we know that that all the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh will come to pass, okay? And you can't learn any of this from Esau's full system, because you know what? He took the Most High out of his school system, okay? There was a time where they used to pray to, even here in Nigeria, they don't do that anymore, okay? When you pray to the Most High before you start any class, I think some schools still do it in their assembly, but going into the classes, man, they took out religious studies from the classes, and now there's even a ban on, talking about the scriptures, teaching about the scriptures, or even any or religion, but we know it's mainly about the scriptures in these schools, man. And there was a time that you had here in Nigeria, you had CRS, Christian Religious Studies. Even that is no longer in in the curriculum anymore. So you see that the Most High is even being removed from Esau's school system, okay? And it's no longer being taught, because this is, because what do they call Esau's schooling? Secular education, okay? And let me get definition of that word secular, okay? Secular. I don't know why the hell you can put X instead of C. But anyway, secular, not specifically religious, lay or civil, as opposed to clerical, temporal, worldly, or otherwise not based on something timeless. That's basically what secular is. It's basically not, based on religion, okay? Okay, and once again, going back to what I was saying about how you can't learn this from Esau's school system. Okay, you can't get this truth from Esau's school system. Okay, that's why this seminary, I don't want to use the word seminarians, because you know what the word goes back to, man, semen, the house of sperm. But these seminary school graduates, okay, these seminarians, I just use that word, kind of nasty. But anyway, these seminarians, you know why, vocal and the like, they get all messed up whenever we bring out these scriptures, man. You see, vocal does this little thing. In this little video, thinking that I got these Hebrew Israelites now. How can they debunk this now? How can they disprove this now? But then brothers bring out tons and tons of videos debunking the nonsense that he brought out. Like for example, the thing that he did in the past, Jeremiah 14 verse 2, or the fact that he's not messing with the 1948ers. Whenever we bring out less videos about that, you see vocal go quiet for a while. And he comes up with another thing again, because he's not just looking for anything that he can. He's looking for a way to. He's looking for an offense in the ministry. That's what vocab is doing, man. It's just basically, I want to use the analogy of this truth of ours. It's a giant, a massive wall, okay, even bigger than the Great Wall of China. Okay, it's a massive wall, and vocab is taking a sledgehammer to the wall. Basically, you're just checking for cracks, checking for any cracks in the wall that you can break through. But you can't find it, man, because this wall is solid as hell, with Yahushua being the cornerstone, of course, okay? But that's the reason why, alright, you can't learn this from Esau's system. The reason why vocab can't come against this, of course, aside from the fact that the Most High said that he will give us a word that nobody can gainsay or come against. Aside from that fact, is because, let me get this in the book of Acts, okay? I think I'm going to get that precept concerning gainsay as well. Book of Acts, chapter 5, from verse 38, and it reads, Acts 5 verse 38, and it reads, "And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of the Most High, ye cannot overthrow it, lest haply ye be found even to fight against the Most High, and your hands are too short to box with the Most High," okay? And that's why vocab keeps getting all messed up, and these other Christians, they keep getting messed up, and all these other false teachers, man, because it's not only Christianity that is against us, but also you have things like the Black Conscious Movement. You have Sanetta and them, okay? That's why they always keep getting all messed up. That's why you see Sanetta is he's switching sides stylishly, okay? But we see what he's doing, because this word is of the Most High, okay, of the one true God, and it's not of men. Because the doctrines of idols are still the doctrines of men, but this word is of the Most, and that's why nobody can gainsay it, because if you are trying to come against this truth, you are fighting against the Most High. Alright, you're not fighting against us, you're fighting against the Most High. And like I said before, your hands are too short to box with God. I didn't get this word as well. So this is the book of Luke 21, verse 15, and it reads, "For I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist," okay? So the word of the Most High compels you, just Yeah, that's a little bit of an inside joke. But anyway, the word of the Most High compels all these people out here, and that's why you see men getting bugged out so much, because in all actuality, nobody can resist this word, man. Once you hear it's a chain reaction. Something must happen. Either you repent or it messes you up, because that's exactly what happened to DMX. When he heard the word, he didn't repent and he got jacked up by the Most High. And I mean, he got jacked up. He get sent straight to go back to the apostles' videos, the upper room. He got sent straight to the upper room. He got sent straight to the Most High, and I'm making a joke out of it, but it's a very serious matter what happened to him, man, because that was an example to our people of what happens if you choose ungodliness. Okay, the Most High will jack you right up. Alright, and that's why we look no further than the scriptures. Okay, because going into the book of James 1, I believe it's from the 4th verse. If you lack wisdom, ask for the Most High, because he upbraideth not and giveth liberally. Okay, the same way you can't catch lightning in a bottle, you can't put the spirit in a box. Okay, because what the scripture said, that the spirit is like the wind, it goeth whithersoever it listeth. Wherever the spirit wants to go, it will go, and the spirit does not go to any buildings that was made by Esau or any institution of education. Using it in Esau's term, education, the education in their term, in Esau's terminology. Okay, it does not go to any of that, but the spirit goes to who he was chosen to be, who was chosen to have that to receive that spirit from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Alright, let me get that precept. John chapter 6 verse 63. For it is the spirit that quickeneth. Let me get that. Let me not spoil this. Let me read this straight from the scriptures. Alright, John 6 verse 63. For it okay, John 6 verse 63. Got a little excited, Salakia. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirits and they are life. Okay, quickeneth meaning what? To raise you up, to rouse you up, to inspire you, to get you all burning and get you all hot, restore that life unto you. Okay, that breath into you, which is what happened to us when we came back into this truth, man. That fire was lit in us. Okay, what the fire, that fire, I mean what, and when I say fire, I mean passion. Okay, the passion for this word, the passion for the Most High and His Son, the passion for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Because I can tell you, I haven't been more devoted to the Most High and His Son than when I was in this truth. Okay, nothing in the world could get when I was still in the world, when I was in Christianity, man. I wasn't even thinking about the Most High and His Son the way I do when I'm in this truth, man. So the word, so the word is, and that's, and the word and the spirit, okay, quickened us, it roused us up back to the understanding of this truth, restored that breath into us. Okay, once again, it's something that you can't learn in Esau's school system. Okay, something that you can't learn if you go to these schools, man. And this is, which is, and I know this, I'll show you. What the scripture talk about the spirits. Let me see if I can get that precept. Because I think I've quoted it a lot. So let me see if I can get that precept. Okay. The book of John, chapter 3, from verse 8, and it reads, "The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou," it's like John 3 verse 8. "The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst not tell whence it cometh, and whither it goeth. So is everyone that is born of the Spirit." Okay, because when we deal with this word, man, you are basically being born again. Born of fire and the Spirit. The Spirit has to enter back into you and renew your mind. Okay, renew your heart. So that's what it means to be born again. But when that happens, man, when that happens, the Spirit, you just like the wind. Okay. Everyone that is born of the Spirit, you don't know where it comes or where it's going, and that's just basically speaking about all the people that are in the world. When they see when you are born again, they don't recognize you anymore. They don't know who you are. They don't know where you are coming. They don't know where you are coming from or where you are going. Okay, you are basically a mystery to them, and they marvel whenever they see you. Man, these people that are in the world, they marvel whenever they see you. They see brothers. Okay. Because they've been in the world so long. Okay, they've been in Esau's kingdom so long that they don't know what righteous men look like anymore. They can't even identify when the Spirit is working with somebody. Okay, and you always know when the spirit is dealing with you. And that's another thing, that's another thing with Esau's school system, to differentiate it from what we are learning. And let me get that. That's the book of First Corinthians, I believe. First Corinthians, the 9th chapter, from the 23rd verse. First Corinthians 9 verse 23, and it reads, First Corinthians 9 verse 23. And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be partaker thereof with you. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. And those are words, okay, those degrees, those doctorates, alright, everything that you learn in these institutions, okay, these colleges, these schools, they are all what? Temperate, okay, temporary. A corruptible crown that you put on your head, that you'll be seen of men as great for a little while, but we, alright, everything that we are striving for, the mastery that we are doing, the mastery that we are striving for, which is mastery over of this world, okay, mastery of this truth, of wisdom, we strive for an incorruptible crown, okay, a permanent crown, which is the crown that Yahweh Shai will give to us when it comes back. Lord willing, we are a part of that number, okay. That's what we are going after, okay. So this book of First Corinthians 9 verse 26 again. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. Alright, because what? We know what we are fighting for, we know what we are struggling for, but a lot of people that are in the world, a lot of these people that are going to colleges and these schools, and they don't even know what they are struggling for, okay? Because when you are going to college, you are thinking that, oh, I'm just going to go 4 years, do my exams and all that, and after that I come out and get the job. But it doesn't work like that, okay? It's not that straight. It's not that straight cut. It's not that black and white, okay? There are, first and foremost, you have the, especially if you live in Babylon, you still have to take care of student loans, okay? You still have to, you still have to get a higher degree of education just in order to even get a job in whatever field that you are studying in, because not everybody that just goes to college and gets a course that actually does, actually gets a career, does a career in whatever they learn, or even uses whatever they learn in college, for their career. Because I know that everything that I learned in school, man, it's nothing to me, okay? Because whatever I know about the course that I went into, computer science, I learned it by myself, right? These schools and these colleges, they don't even really teach you anything. But everything that I learned from this word, I know that it was the spirit of Yahweh Shai, whether it was true men or whether it was through the scriptures, right? That was what taught me, okay? That was what raised my knowledge and increased my understanding. Alright, so that's basically where we are in concerning that, okay? Basically, because we are going into, this is a discipline, okay? This is just like what we are learning is basically is better. I shouldn't you can compare it to learning something, a course in or a course in school, or a subject in school, but it is far better than that. Because once you have because once you get that, because once you finish this course, okay, once you have run the race completely, 100% that reward that you have been waiting for is coming to you, man, and it's going to be something great, something glorious, okay? Not just some degree or a diploma, a piece of paper, that's not what we're working for here. Alright, that's why going back to verse 27, it says that what? 1 Corinthians 9 verse 27. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. Alright, so that's another thing that you never learn in Esau's school system. Discipline. How to keep your body under subjection, so that what you can actually push this word, alright, perfectly. And what so you will not be a castaway. Because if we are the kind of people that teach not to eat abominable foods, or not to commit adultery, and you catch us committing adultery, you catch us eating abominable foods, what does that say about what we are teaching, man? Think about that, okay? But you see, and I don't start drawing the parallel between Esau's school system and this truth, man, because it can't be compared, okay? The same way this word can't be mated with any other, this the scriptures can't be mated with any other book, okay? This knowledge that we have can't be compared to any other knowledge, especially not the knowledge that you get from Esau's school system, man. So yeah, with that, I'm just going to end it right there. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahawashai, Bahasham Racha Kwadash, Wa Abad Babal, Shalom.